Megan Thobin, the Director of Operations here at the airport, a lot of people really have no idea what all that entails. I'll start with asking the question this way. When a plane is coming down, pilots, captains, first officers, there are certain things that they expect to see to know where to come down and where to go when they get down. You're responsible for all of that.
Absolutely.
Is that fair?
That's fair. We have an entire department that's responsible for that. So we're the airport operations team here. We're here 24/7 and we do a multitude of different things, but the main responsibility we have is inspection of this airfield multiple times a day, and we're looking for those requirements you were just referencing. Lights, signs, markings, pavement, everything out here really.
And we'll reference, obviously, there's a plane behind us, a UPS plane that looks like it's being led, but obviously the people driving that plane know where to go as a testament of the work that you're doing. Talk me through the light system, first of all, because, you know, I've always been fascinated by all I really see is the colors. I have no idea what most of these things mean.
Right, and all of us in aviation, we know what those things mean, and they're all there for a purpose. So in the aviation world, everything has a purpose, and that purpose is safety. It's also to ensure that someone doesn't get confused. So taxiways have their own color, they're blue, runways are white. The runway will change in color as you get further to the end to let the pilot know that they're nearing the end of the runway. They need to make a decision if they haven't already done so. So everything is meant to be able to look out your window and know exactly where you are at any given moment.
So a potential worst case scenario is a flight coming down and not seeing what they should see on the runway, and then just confusion follows.
Right, mass confusion. Yep, and like I said, with those lights that change, you know, if maybe you haven't been able to put your airplane on the ground quite yet or slow down quite yet, that might be a decision for you to go around and retry that landing.
So we talked about the lights, but what about the signage? Because I'll be in a plane taking off and I'll see a B3 or a 3 or some of these numbers that are scattered around. I was like, I have no idea what this means. Luckily, I'm not driving the plane though, so it doesn't matter that I don't know, but I'd like to.
Well, fun fact, so our runways are named after numbers. Those numbers mean something, but our taxiways are letters, and they're simply A, B, C, D. We call them phonetically, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and they continue in that same order as you move from one side of the airfield to the other. So if you were just on taxiway Alpha and you're not sure what taxiway you're on, most likely you're probably somewhere close to Bravo, if not already on it. And so with the runways too, with the numbers, it's all about directionality. It's all about which direction you're taking off into. So we add those to a compass heading, and it tells us literally north, south, east, west what direction we're taking off in.
So I can tell that you love it. I mean, it's pretty clear that you do.
Just a little bit.
Same with other people that I've talked to who are working out here. But on some level, it's got to be, I don't know if the word is daunting or frightening even because there's so much responsibility, safety included in what you guys do. How do you process that?
I'd say stressful, but like you said, the love of it and the passion of it really outweigh the stress of it all. I'd say my stressful time at this airport is probably snow, because it's Kentucky. Some years we'll get a ton of snow, other years we won't get much. So we're ready for the worst possible snowstorm you could ever imagine, and we just want to hope that we're able to maintain everything the way that it should be.
So obviously you're not out doing this work by yourself. Talk about the team and how hard it works and what they do in a day.
So our team is made up of over 15 aviation professionals, and we're always hiring. And it's important for us to make sure that the community knows that it's not just pilots that are operating aircraft. It's all of us here on the ground that are ensuring they can do it safely. So there's other careers out there, such as airport operations. We have a great group that is newly graduated from college. Others have worked at other airports and airport operations. So we all bring different experiences to the table and make a really well-rounded group.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because there's so many kids that are growing up thinking my job at the airport is to be a pilot, or there's really nothing else outside of that. And we've got a huge community here in the state. You mentioned well, I don't know if you mentioned it, but I know that you went to Eastern Kentucky University, a great resource. Megan, thank you so much for kind of giving us the lay of the land.
Thanks for coming on a field trip.
Of course, great. Can I just say I could have talked to Megan for another 5 to 7 hours?
I would say, what a field trip with her.
It really, that's a good way to put it. It really was a field trip, because, you know, so many of us have flown and traveled before, and you get accustomed to taking off and landing. But when you see the markers on the runway, and then you get an idea of what that means, some of these runways are more than 2 miles long. And so there's sometimes when you touch down on a runway and you see a number, you're like, well, what does that mean? Are we touching down in the right place? She was able to, like, get me to understand that. And also the lighting system for the captains and the first officers when they're bringing it. It's fascinating stuff.
A lot there. All right, let's send it on out to Joanne, that's introducing us to our K9 team that's helping keep things on. She's behind us. Hey, Joanne.
Hi, my friends. Okay, I hope you like water, because it is a little wet and wild out here right now.